Hello everyone. I've messed with a lot of settings, so if music is too loud, my sound is low, or my voice is too low, or anything like that, please do let me know. Um, I should have tested it, I'll be honest. I should have tested it. I did not test it. So yeah, give me a heads up. But yeah, otherwise I'm Carmen. I'm one of the three modelers here at Firestorm. I do streams on Tuesdays and Fridays. And well, depending on your time zone, of course. And then, yeah, for the rest, we'll be continuing this environment. The end goal would be to have this as a portfolio piece. But that's a long, long way off, especially because we are still in what I would deem blockout phase. There's not enough detail in any of these to hold up in an environment. Now, can we do a lot of textures? Yes, we can do a lot of textures. Um, Once we've got the UV, mind you. But at the end of the day, you can only do so much with texturing. Sometimes modeling a little something does help. Alright, so for today, what is the plan? What are we doing? We played around last week, and was it last week? I lie, it was this week, it was beginning of this week. We basically built the houses, or the house number 2 and 3, so to speak. Which I've not labeled very accurately, mind you, but they were all based upon the first house, which was this one. Ideally, we would have a couple that look more like the top portion of it, rather than just the bottom. But for now, this is what we have. Ideally, we'd have more variations, but we're not going to be doing that today. What we'll actually be doing is adding a little more detail to the first house. Now I've got some ideas. I want to add roof tiles. Now, this is something I know how to do with Mesh in Maya. I've never done it in Houdini. So, there is that. But basically how it would work is we, in a way, subdivide the roof. Let me actually pop into here so we can take a closer look. Now, this network looks chaotic, and it is. But it was also somewhat organized to at least some extent. So I have a rough idea what's going on here. Do I have a detailed idea? No, I do not. But I've got a rough idea. So, we've got our roof, and this is in this portion here. And we've got our dormer, right. Now, in this case, the color is really messing with my view. Yeah. So I'm actually going to quickly get rid of that on the rooftop itself, just so I can see the geometry a little bit better. Now, in terms of the roof itself, just see how it was built. We've got that's extruded outwards, and then we've got another extrude. Right. The next thing I want to see is what armor group's like, because I would say, ideally, this shouldn't be attached to this piece, because that's going to make my life a lot more difficult in terms of placing roof tiles. Just because then I have to specify that I only want this face, basically, in the center. Now, I could utilize it from this point, and that'll kind of void half the problems, because I've already got a group that says extrude front, right? If we pop into here, you can see we've got a side group, we've got a front group, etc., 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 and that then gets extruded outwards for that. Now, having said all of that, the reason why this will get not necessarily messy, but a little bit messy is when I created the second extrude, this group falls under a different name, and it's not separate from the one below it. And I didn't want to be doing manual selection of anything. I could do normal based. But I'm not quite sure whether that'll work either. So that's something we could try and see what we get. Let's do that. Right. If I can stop pressing the wrong buttons. I'm quickly Okay, to be right back. My tablet is disconnecting, so I'm just gonna reconnect it, and I'll be back in roughly 10 seconds. Literally 10 seconds. Right, I'm back. I will be replacing that cable. I need to order one. I have not yet, but we'll get there, and it'll be my stream will be much smoother. Right. Okay. So we are going to test normal direction. So what we are going to do is a group, and that group is going to go there. Now, what my theory is we'll do it by normal direction, and it'll only select one side. And we're gonna have to be okay with that. So it is what it is. It's only going to select one side. What we could then do is mirror it across. Or alternatively, if we didn't want to mirror, we could create a second group. I suspect we're probably going to mirror it. Hello, then are we making a warning towel kind of thing? We might be. We might be. I have a rough idea of the shape I want. Not got a detailed idea for it. So we'll see. And I've been good. How have you been? And what are you working on lately? Alright, so. Let's get right into things. In terms of the roof tile shape, let me actually draw it quickly. Let's get a thingamajig drawing glove and go from there. You'll probably never see me sculpting on stream, so heads up for that. I'm not a sculptor, or at least I can sculpt, not my passion. Alright, so what we'd probably, I have an image of, or let's say a visual idea of what I want. We would want that type of shape almost. So that, but actually the bottom would be copying the shape of the top, so to speak. It would be that shape, and then they would, you know, stack on top of each other. Oh, this is an awful drawing, but anyway. But you know, it'll kind of stack that way, go off to the side, so that will be the ideal. I saw a video. I saw a YouTube, what's it, a YouTube video? It might have been an Instagram video. Where somebody did with Mesh, and I have done it with Mesh in the past. I ended up manually manipulating further, but I did use Mesh for it, actually, when I was still studying, because Mesh was part of one of the modules of my school, and I loved it. And in hindsight, Mesh is actually terrible. In comparison to Houdini, Mesh is terrible. But that was sort of my first introduction to procedural modeling was Mesh. So in Maya. So that's a little side note on that. Right. So what are we doing? We are condensing the roof down. So we are going to do. We have group. So we need normals. We're going to enable by normal, and then we're going to narrow this direction down. I don't want the back faces though. Squish that further. Right. We'll probably need two directions. Let's try doing it that way. It might just work. It might just work. If I condense this further, maybe? No, because that's going to give me that. Okay. Let's avoid that for a second. Let's try that direction. Are we going to have to do... Don't want that, though. I do not want that. But that will select that side. Of course it selects that side because that's the Z direction. Z direction is this side, so of course it does that. Okay, so we're gonna scratch that, go to X direction, which should be in theory this direction. Right. Now we don't want both sides, so but that is gonna select that. How am I going to condense this down? Let's try. Ha ha ha. I've got it. I've got it. Right, brilliant. We've got that. No. No. Let's just quickly see where that's going. Can I do that? Will that? No. It will not work. But I would really ideally want both sides. Okay, but we're gonna run with it. This is going to be roof something. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, me too. Match was quite a tool. It was quite a learning curve back in uni. I had the class before Houdini. I did not actually. No, Houdini wasn't part of my class's material. So that's a quick side note. But I think if you want to learn whether you want to do procedural modeling at all, whether it's worth learning, so to speak, learn MASH first because it's a bit easier and a bit simpler and quicker to learn. Yes, it's still confusing and it's a bit finicky because if your object is not centered in the world, you've got a nightmare of a situation. But that aside, it's still a brilliant tool. I still use it. But if I have a choice, I default to Houdini just because it's quite frankly easier. Let's do roof something. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it roof for now. I might regret that, but we're gonna keep it at that. But yeah, in terms of how I learned Houdini, so the way the school worked is basically you had tutorials, because this was a, I don't know even if it would be considered a college, but it was online school. I'm not going to be naming any names, but it was an online school and you had tutorials and you would follow the tutorials and once a week you would meet with a mentor, right? And once you met with the mentor, he would basically, or she, would review your work and give you feedback, tell you what to change, how to change it, and all of that. It was, I think, I had a class of 4, and for my second year I had basically private tutoring. It was one-on-one. There was a slight mix-up. I wasn't supposed to have a mentor one-on-one. But yeah, bottom line is I did. And I told him I'm interested in Houdini, and he loves Houdini. So what ended up happening is we completely scrapped all the school tutorials and he taught me Houdini instead. It was absolutely glorious. I had basically 9 months of Houdini and loved every second of it. Did a little bit of Substance Painter as well. Substance Painter is brilliant for procedural texturing as well, which you guys would know. But bottom line is he taught me all the barely utilized generators and filters because we all use mask filter, we all use curvature, ambient occlusion, all of that. But what he taught me was things like mask outline or high pass or you've got that drawing tool where you can draw a path and your alpha, so to speak, pastes onto that path. So he did basically all of that. There's tools that you do know about maybe, but you've probably not used it. So it was really, really fun because he's one of those people, he doesn't want to do things manually. Yes, it's quicker, but it's not changeable, and he's had run into so many issues with art directors, etc., that said, well, you've done this, it's great, but I actually want that. Change this out. I don't want this pattern, I want that pattern. Or, yeah, you've built the roof tiles at this size, but I actually want that size. So due to that, he adapted his working style and everything really to be more procedural. And that's where I come in. Because if you have a mentor like that, you can't help but learn their joy for it. So once I had him for a mentor, procedural became a thing, and I've loved it. So before I had him for a mentor, I was very much do it by hand. In fact, I had to do a creature for one term, and I hand painted it. It's a semi-realistic style. It's not quite realism, not stylized. So I would say it falls into that semi-realism headed towards realism side. and I had fitted all protections. Why? Because it was fun. Needless to say, he's taught me better ways since then, but yeah. So yeah. Right, okay, so focusing half a second. I went completely off tangent there, but anyway. We want to do something. That's so specific, we want to do something. Right. Right. I'm gonna do a blast. Because oh, I've definitely lucked out there. I did. He was absolutely phenomenal. His name is Brian Bentley. He's still in the game. He focuses more, I say in the game, I mean like in the game in the sense of working in the industry. But he was, I believe he was a technical artist by profession actually. And he worked predominantly in film. So he was in that type of situation where most of the students wanted to learn the game workflow. Because games are cool, games are fun, etc., and he was specialized in film. So he had a bit of a difficulty with students wanting to learn the film the game workflow, and he was again specialized in film. Now I wanted to learn both, so I had one mentor that taught me the one side of things, and that taught me the other side. So that was brilliant. All right, so we've got that. I'm actually going to do what? I'm going to try. Do you think we can dissolve flat edges on this and it'll actually dissolve the end edges, or will it be an absolute menace and leave it? Hello. Not dissolve flat edges. I was very confused for the second there, that one. The reason I was worried that it wouldn't work is this, yes, it's flat edges, but this is the roof itself is at an angle, and sometimes dissolve flat edges just doesn't work. I experienced that in, I think, Tuesday's stream. I think it was Tuesday's stream. I basically had this problem where my edges just did not want to dissolve. Around, let's see. Right, from here, what I basically want to do is one of two things, as these things go. I firstly want to subdivide this. So let's actually do that first. Can we do a subdivide, just a normal subdivide, and will that give me the result I want? Probably not. You know, that's actually close. That is actually close. Can I increase subdivisions on this? Where do I increase it? Oh, yeah. How many tiles would we want? Maybe that much? The problem with this, however, is how am I going to create an offset? Because in this way, I'm just copying to points. I've got a plan. Right, so what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be selecting every second edge. And we'll have tiles copying to one and tiles copying to the other. Potentially. Will that work? I don't know whether that'll work. But right, so let's get a cube. And I'm just going to make it pretty normal. Let's template that just so I can have a size reference. And this will need to be like 0.1 that. And then I'm going to make that 0.25. And that maybe 2. No, other direction. 2. Right. Now this tile is too small, technically speaking. Let me make it a little bit bigger. But we're just going to test whether my theory works, because at the end of the day, this is going to be theory. In the sense of, I've got a theory of how this should work. But how Houdini works is you've got an idea of how it should work, and it rarely works the way you think it should. So there is that. So. Next thing we need is, we can do a copy to points, right? Now this is going to give us something very specific. It's going to give us something. It's going to give us a base. Hello. I think I flipped them the wrong way around. Target points to copy to. Yeah, I did. Right, that's something. Let's do. Can we do orient? Alright. Now that's obviously incorrect because we don't want something on the corners there. But what I do want, can we flip these and do this as in? That already helps. What is this supposed to be in? What was the other one? I can't remember. What did I change? Up. It was up. Up. And then that 2N. That's such a cool pattern though. Okay, now we'll keep that as it is. Right. So what we would then do is actually either rotate it on here or rotate it on the actual cube. So what we could do, I just think which direction would be rotating in. Not that one. Let's do this one. Let's just test. We're testing here. Not that one either. Let's do 90 in that direction. What does that give us? Alright. No. No. Yeti's not what I want. Let's avoid that for half a second. Actually, that does nothing. Fun fact, that does absolutely nothing. Right, so I just want to see which direction. Okay, so that flips it that way. Definitely not that one. And this one flips it that way, which is also not quite what we want. This one flattens it. So if we pair that with this, we get nothing. Pair that with this, we have liftoff. Right, brilliant. Now, we would want these to slightly overlap. But actually, what if we reverse these two? Because at the moment, which side is the long side of these? It's very difficult to see actually. Let's flip them. We're going to do this one negative 46. That's 56. Let's do 46. And what was the other one? It was 81. 81? Was it 81? Hello. We've got chaos. However, that's cool. I do like that, but it's not what I want. So let's continue on this path and see what we can get. I want them to overlap in that direction. Now the scale might be slightly off as well, so we have to bear that in mind. Alright, that's that. What does this give us? Not what we want. So basically what I want is I want this to be slightly rotated. But not in that direction, in the other direction, from left to right basically. Now this is the downside of, because that's not going to give you that. I don't think any of them is going to give you that. Alright, okay, we're going to avoid that idea. Reroute. Now again, this is as I said, we are going with theory here, and theory is rarely works how you think it would. So let's do, can we do N? The reason it's slightly wonky, right, is due to the fact that this entire roof is at an angle. So that does make it more difficult, so to speak. And I especially don't like that it's doing that. That is very annoying. Let's try. Hello, how are you? Thank you for joining. Alright, so what are we going to do? Why is my normals reversed? Hello. Why? Just why? Oh, it's not. It's not. It was just flipped around. What are we making? We are making... We can actually just pop that out. Oh, don't freeze on me. Please don't freeze on me. Okay. It's unfroze. We're good. We're good. It did not die. Right. So what we're actually making is roof tiles. I've got some ideas of how to make it work. I've got some inspiration. I do not know the exact process, but we're going to play with it till it works. That is going to be the mission of today, so to see. Ideally, by the end of this, I will have functional roof tiles that are pretty. That would be in a magic unicorn world. We have pretty functional roof tiles. Right, so. I think what we're going to do is we are going to mess with it on this level. Why are you only doing the exterior? That's weird. What are you doing? Nothing. Brilliant. You? Also nothing. No, you do that. Alright. Let's quickly change that back to up. Maybe we just need more values here. Why does it do that for the corners? It's something normal related. It's the normals of the corners that are really messing it up. I wonder... Let me actually view this and view the normals on it. Now see. That is the problem. That is the problem. Not template that. I just want to see what the corners themselves are doing. Let's skip that. I make video games? I work on video games. I do not make the video games. So I make the models for video games. And TV series and movies occasionally. So I work on a bit of everything, so I do know both workflows. But yeah, I work predominantly on indie games, so I'm not a AAA company. I don't work for a AAA company, but I do work on games. I do predominantly do characters actually, which is fun fact. I don't like doing characters, but that's where the work is right now. So at least in my experience. So, to see that, I predominantly do characters. I prefer my main styles, probably semi-realism, but my current job is more stylized. Unfortunately, under NDA, so I can't say more than that. But yeah, it's more on the stylized. It's making characters is your main thing. It is. Fun fact: when I started 3D modeling, the one thing I said is I never want to create a character. That's what I said. I did say that. And that's just been always where I found work. So I do predominantly characters. But yeah, that is that. Right, so let me just quickly avoid that. Let's see if we can work with it out the orient, so to speak. And I'm gonna get rid of the normals. How much does one character cost? Oh, you're gonna hate me. You're gonna absolutely hate me. It depends. For example, right? On the one game I'm working on. Now this one is a freelance project. And it's low budget. So I've got 2 hours to make a character. And I'm talking body. Okay, the body we repurpose. And then clothing. And weapons and things, whatever comes with the character accessories. I've got 2 hours to model, fish sculpting, sculpt, and texture it. And I'm only allowed to use an albedo map. No, roughness does not exist, metalness does not exist. It needs to be all hand painted as well. So it's an interesting project. It pays okay. So there's that. but it's not easy. Ooh, what if we do this? I really like that. We'll just have to lower it down a little bit. That's like speed painting a character in 3D. Yes, and it looks it as well. I'll be honest here. It looks it as well. But yeah, bottom line is anywhere from 2 hours to 6 months for a character. So I like having, where can I see more of your stuff? On ArtStation. I'll be honest, I've not updated my ArtStation in years. I think we're heading, I say years, 1.5 years. Since I completed my studies, I've not updated my ArtStation, which don't be like me. I just ran into the problem where I jumped right into working. So due to that, I've not had time. I've honestly not had time to work on a personal project that I could put on my ArtStation. So just bear that in mind, but let's copy that. And while we're at it, guys, networking is everything. So put your ArtStation in the chat, guys. Do that. Network, please. So let me just plop that into the chat. Alright, so the main problem right now is the roof tiles are actually facing the wrong way though. Can we rotate this 90 degrees? What does reverse give us? Just quickly check what way this is rotating. So that'll give us that. Alright. This can tilt it that way. Ha! We're getting closer. And that gives us that. But I actually want to rotate on that direction. So where can I get that direction? That gives us that. That gives us this. Left to right. Left to right in that tangent. None of them gives me that. What if we put a separate transform? Can I do this with the second transform? I'm probably gonna. Is this for a client? No, this is a personal project. This will one day, when I finish it, go on my portfolio. So I love doing environment work. It's something that I don't do in my professional career. But it's something that I would one day like to transfer over to that. But bottom line is, I don't currently do it that way, but ideally one day I would. So you can't do the job unless you've, how do I put this? If you've not got something on your portfolio, you're unlikely to get a job to do that thing. So if I want a job to do environments, I need to get environments on my portfolio. Or let me put it this way, better environments on my portfolio. Right, so we've got that. We've still not got this facing the direction I wanted to face though. And it's all due to the fact that this thing is not flat. Right, what are we going to do about it though? What are we going to do about it? I've broken everything. Let me just quickly turn that off. Let's turn that off, and I'm going to turn the AC off. Because, fun fact, it's very humid here at the moment. I'm not used to humidity. We never have humidity. We usually scour around at 20% humidity. It's currently 90%. So I'm actively dying as I'm sitting here. Anyway, that is a little side note. Fun fact of the day. I'm full of fun facts today. Right, so focusing for half a second here. I still need a way to tilt these down though. And again, this is normal direction based. So that is the thing that is messing me up. This looks very pretty from the top, but I'm actually, if I look at it from the side, we've got a problem. We've got a problem. Right, let's zero these. We're pivoting. I'm not enjoying struggling. So, let's go back to these normals. That's point rails, normals. What if after copy points add a for each and run it through a switch with all the edge warrant, etc. and copy points again to apply the variations? That could work, but my first area of problems, my first problem area is actually getting the cube to follow the orientation of the original rules in the way I want it to. So I want this to basically sit flat on top of the plane. What if instead of changing the orientation here, we change the way it's scaled? So currently the direction, the widest point is going up. So if we change that to 0.25, let's plug that in. No. Alright, so that's the up direction. So change that to 0.25. Then our width is going to be our left to right. So that'll need to be 3. And then that should be able to stay at 2. Yes. And that was the solution. Build it in a different direction. Why not? I think we can work with this. Let's turn that off. And just quickly see what we can do orientation-wise. Right, so that can give us the little tilt we need. But we will be adding variations. Maybe using a random value, maybe doing something. I'm not quite sure what I want to do there yet. And then I don't want that orientation, so let's not use that. We're almost there. Right. Alright. Let's quickly do a merge. I just want to see what it looks like all together. That'll go into there, and that'll go into there, and then that'll go into there, and then we see nothing. Because this area is actually blasted out, of course. So what we actually want is that one. Hello, that is actually awful. That is awful. Right, roof tiles too big. So let's do 2. Now this is still going through these, which is not ideal. Alright. So we technically want to, can we push along normals? That would be so ideal. Can we offset this somehow? Pretty please. And thank you for liking my characters. I need to do a more, how do I put it? I need to do a new one that's a bit more detailed. I'm not very, I'd say I'm bad at it, but I really struggle with doing skin on characters because I lose patience. You can hire me. So Firestorm is an outsourcing studio. So the person to get in touch with is Heather Courage over on either our Discord channel or via email. But you can find a contact form on our website. Let me send you that. So yes, so we do multiple things here at Firestorm. We do the live streams, which is your free resource. Basically, you get to ask us questions, and you get to chat with us and all of that. But we've also got, let's say, outsourcing side, as I mentioned. So we work on games, films, etc. So this is the company you work for. Yes, it's one of the companies I work for. I'm a jack of all trades, so in the sense of I work for multiple people. I'm one of those people, I have to be working or I go insane. So yes. But yeah, bottom line is we do outsourcing, but we also do mentoring. So if you want to learn software, you want to learn a technique, or you want to just refine things or have your portfolio reviewed, anything like that, we do all of it. So yeah, and then of course we've got free resources as well. So you'll see we've got the Discord channel, so you can ask for help there. We are doing a portfolio review next week Thursday, which is free. You can just upload your portfolio. We've got a channel for it, and we can review it for you. So that'll be next week Thursday. I think that'll be at 2 p.m. UTC. So yeah. Yeah, we do lots of things. We're fun people, and most of the time we just hang out. Let's be real. Most of the time we just hang out on stream and chat, have fun. Alright, so she can do anything. I can do a little bit of most things. Don't ask me to animate, and don't ask me to rake. But anything 3D modeling related, I can do. Oh, about the portfolio review. I don't think I have access to that channel. You should. Let me check. Let me check. You won't be able to see what other people have posted, alright? But you will be able to find the channel to post. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to send it in the general chat. That way you can just click the link basically. And if you don't have access to the link, let me know. Alright. We do that. There we go. We're sorted. It's in the general chat. You guys can find the Discord somewhere, banner down below somewhere. I don't know where. I'm not a tech person. I'm a tech person in the sense of I work in tech, but ask me to tell you how to do live streams and where to find links, and I'm screwed. But yeah, bottom line is you can find the Discord there. Join up, chat with everyone. We're fun. We often hang out in the voice channel. We're all nice. We're all fun. We are all a little bit crazy as well. Right, so. In terms of this utter chaos of a mess, I need to readjust the orientation still. I'm not quite happy with it. So I think if we can do that, and then adjust the orientation in that direction as well, and maybe a little bit in this direction, maybe it'll be a little bit better. Now there is some overlapping, which I don't like very much. I don't like that at all. But anyway, I also have to take into account that this isn't done. It's just a flat plane, so to speak. It's not shaped. I got it. Yeah, I was confused at first because the post op were blank. Yes, so we do that for privacy reasons. We don't. Oh, I say somewhat for privacy reasons. Basically, we don't want people to feel their works are getting judged prior to the actual review session. So due to that, we prefer keeping it private. And once we do the live stream, everyone will see the portfolios and the review, etc. But beforehand, we prefer just keeping it closed off, just so people don't feel intimidated or judged and so on. We want a safe space, guys. We want a safe space. So yeah. Right. Alright. So what am I gonna do about this? I do want them to be slightly lifted. I don't like this song. I don't even know if you guys can hear the music in the background, but bottom line is I don't like that song. So I'm gonna skip it. So, box. Let me see what we've got. Well, that is unmanageable. I'm gonna duplicate that. I'm gonna zero everything. I'm gonna zero everything, and then the next thing I'm going to do is actually, yeah, it didn't match the vibe. Yes, that is the problem. And I've just got a random playlist going on. I think on Tuesday's stream, somebody recommended a bunch of sites that I could try for music, and I did not write them down. So it was Spotify. It is. Non-copyrighted Spotify music, mind you. So in other words, just game music. Because game music is one of those areas that aren't regulated that much. It's one of those things. Right. So we've got that. Can I? Above primitives, below primitives. One of these groups is going to give me the thing I want. So let's do transform. We could potentially do a curve and a sweep. I love doing lines and curves and sweeps. I'm going to do that though. Choices. Right, transform. Alright, so that gets plopped into there, and then can I get above? What does above do? Oh, that's not what I want though. Don't want to template that. Let's try that out. That'll give me that. That is more or less what I want. Also, don't forget match size. Very good point. We will need to be match sizing at some point. Let's do another level. I wonder if I can get the clipped edges. Yes, we can, because Houdini is brilliant, and we can indeed specify clipped edges. Can I bevel that though? Oh, I can. No, obviously not that high of value though. And then I actually want this to be 2 subdivisions, just so it's a little bit cleaner. And then I'm actually going to change this a little bit. I don't want it to be exactly in the center, so let's take maybe like that. There is the potential that I'm changing the wrong side. Bear that in mind. And indeed, I probably was. But it's fine, we'll rotate it. But before we rotate it, let's just change this to a minus value quickly. That's going to solve half the problem. So that's going to be minus. Right. And then, I wonder, zero that. What if we do one in that direction? Will that be closer? Yes, and then what? And then we see. Right, so let's do a we're going to do it on the transform. No, we're not going to do it on the transform. We're creating another transform. Might regret it, but we're doing it. Let's actually do the copy. Right. Let's see if we can finally get this to orient the way I want it to. So the first problem is this is in fact now pointing up. It is what it is. It's not quite what we want, but it is what it is. So that places it down, which I don't actually want. So let's leave that one. This one rotates it from left to right, which I also don't want. This is the one we want. Alright. So let's firstly get it functional, then we can make it good. We could potentially do a roof like this. And that would be significantly easier than anything else I've been doing. We can also scale it. Could potentially scale it, not in that direction apparently. Also not in that one. Right. So we do want to overlap. But that is looking better. Is it perfect? No. No, it's not. Hi, how are you? What are you working on? I want to know what everyone's working on, by the way, because firstly, I like getting sidetracked. But secondly, it's fun knowing what people are working on. Alright, so we've got that. So what I actually want to do is, can we get a random value from this? No, but we can give it. There's a name for it. It is an attribute. And the attribute has this, I think it's attribute expression, and it has this sort of preset you can use. Constant random scalar value. Is it that one? Is it that one? Environment concepts for a client. I have the delivery meeting this morning, so I need speed. Oh wow, that's stressful. If that is stressful. But hopefully once it's not under NDA, because I assume it is, you'll be showing us. Like to see. I would like to see. Right. Let's swap this out. I'm just going to do random. I don't want a position, I want color. Ha. Rand at num. At prim. Can I do at prim? Okay, but the primitive is that's not what I want. Let me see what I've got to work with. Let's get a geometry spreadsheet. Let us get a geometry spreadsheet. Let's do geometry spreadsheet. Right. That's a group. Alright, that's not what we want. We've got point numbers. We don't want random point numbers. Yes, NDA, but client is so nice and easy to work with. Oh, that's brilliant though. Nice clients are hidden gems. They're sometimes rare, I'll be honest. Nice clients are rare, guys. Appreciate nice clients. But once you have them, they usually stick around. If they've got work and you're nice to them and they're nice to you, that is the ideal environment. Right, so can I get a unique something? Transform, because the problem is this isn't giving me unique primitives. Because if we actually look at the primitives, firstly that just gives us 0 and 1. Detail doesn't give me much to work from. Let me think. I want to get it. Because the data is there, I just need to figure out how to extract it. Let's think. Let's think. Let's see. Can we do it in the attribute expression? Flat and bottom, constant value, multiply. Random, scale, offset. There's gotta be a way to split these out. Is there a way to split this out? Surely there is. Can we do an attribute create maybe? Alright. And the what are you trying to extract again? I'm basically trying to get a unique. How am I going to explain this? I want to split out each individual tile and give it a different color. And then I want to take the color to randomize the scale. If that makes sense. Yeah. I've done it. And that's the worst part. I've done it before. But for the life of me, I cannot remember how. So, but yeah. Yeah. I wonder if I did it in VOP. I probably did it in VOP. What we can do, my PC might die, but we can actually open up the file where I did it. Let's do that. I'm gonna regret this, but let's do that. This is a thing I practiced. When I say practice, it was a exploration of height fields, right? It's exploration of height fields, and it will never see the light of day in terms of my portfolio. It's not good enough. Not that some of the other work in my portfolio is not great either. But bottom line is we'll never see the light of day. But we're gonna open up that file. And I'm just gonna see what I did. I wonder if I did it in Solaris. I did it in Solaris. That's what I did. Are we gonna explore Solaris today? Probably not, because then we don't have it in our viewport, which is highly inconvenient. That is highly inconvenient. But alright, we're gonna see how I built it, just for the fun of it, and then we can figure out a different way of doing it. I'm just waiting for that file to open up. Which is taking an eternity and a day, and it's going to take even longer than this, just due to the fact that that file is interesting. Let's leave it at that. It's an interesting file. I'll actually show you guys what the end result was. It's hideous, but it was a thing. Let's see. Where did I actually even save it? I wonder if I saved it or if I deleted it. I wouldn't put it beyond me if I've deleted it. Let's see. Oh, let's see. It's definitely not among renders. Where else would I have put it? I don't think I've saved it. No, it's not in there. I can't believe it. I've actually deleted it. Okay. I cannot show you guys what the end result was. I wanted to. Even if it was hideous, I want to do that. Well, let's see. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I did not. Wait. There's hope. Huh. Oh no, that's awful. That was the first version. That was the first version. 。 Yeah, no chance. Literally no chance. And don't you just love when you open up a Houdini file and you get met with a warning? And it's not loading either. Right. But while that's opening up, let's see what we can do here. What about before signing C and then CT copy drop attribute randomize and scatter the C and orient? We can do that. Let's do that. A color. And we are going to make it turquoise. Why is it turquoise? Because I like turquoise. Well, that's not turquoise. It's turquoise because I like turquoise. As you could probably not tell by the walls being turquoise, and if you saw the rest of the room, you would see more turquoise. Alright, so what is assign a color and then copy to point drop attribute randomize. I forgot about attribute randomize. Let's do that at rand. And then we could base it upon can we do primitive? Now that's going to give us this. Probably missing something here. Drop attribute, then copy to point, drop at randomize inside the C and orient. Seeing if I missed a step here. Target points, transform. Options. What does options give me? Visualize global seed. Right. So that gives us that. I wonder if it's a copy to points specifically. I wonder if there's a way to copy to points and give them a unique value. Because, I mean, the data is there. I just can't grab it. I just can't grab it. That's so annoying. Right, so let's see what else we can do. What if... Trying to think here. Primitive points. Points gives us that. Right. Let's see what's going on here. Dolomite, left, right, pine tree. Okay. So what I did here, if it doesn't die, let's hide other objects. Ugh. Why is it so blown out though? Right, so we've got our ugly tree over here. And we do have a group for it. And we've got probably a color. No, we don't even have a color for it. Brilliant, it's just got a name, right? So we've got a tree, and if we pop over to the stage, oh, don't die, please don't die. I'm gonna regret this. Oh wait, I've got this on the wrong screen. I'll pop it over when it's not frozen anymore. So let's hope and pray it doesn't freeze. Well, actually it is frozen. But it's also loading, I think. Hopefully. Hopefully. Right, I've honestly got no idea how to approach this. Because the data, again, the data is there. We just can't access it. Because if we assign the color, right, so I've done the color beforehand, and then copy to points, but it still doesn't give a unique ID to each one. And I think the problem lies with the copy point itself, not with the rest of the network. So Because basically what the attribute create is doing, not the attribute create, the attribute expression is doing is basically the same thing this is doing. It's a random, it's assigning a random color to a primitive. So our main goal should be splitting the primitive out rather than splitting the color out, I think. So what we want to do is we want to assign a number to each primitive. Can I do? But I don't want this to be color. Can we do? Let's scratch that for off a second. Random. Custom. Name. Oh, maybe there's a primitive option. This should be custom. Okay, we're doing from. Alright. At random in a number. It's not going to give me what I want. It's really not. Right, where are we getting our thing? Primitive 1, 0, 1, 2. Alright, let's just give it a name. I just want to see what we're getting, so to speak. So, this is assigning it to points, which we actually don't want. And then the next question is, and it's constant value that. Right, so that is a constant value. So what we want, can we do P scale? That's also constant. Let's change that back to random color. And that is going to be color, right? And then what can we use? Can't use points. Cannot use points. This gives us a 0 to 1 value, so that doesn't help. I'm at a loss. Right, let's pop over the other screen. Let's pop over the other screen. Come on. Right, I crashed the stream. Sorry, guys. We should be back up and running. Is it working now? Let me try. Is it working now? Let's see. Let's see. Because I think I've basically destroyed everything. And it froze. But we should be good. We should be good. Right. Let us see. Let us see. Looks to be working on my end. So we're gonna fingers crossed it works everywhere. So what I used for this, and hopefully it doesn't freeze again. I hope this is gonna be awful. Is I used an instancer. What if we use instances? We could use instances, couldn't we? Surely instances isn't just a thing in... Okay, I'm firstly going to close this file because this file is giving me absolute nightmares. So let's quickly discard that and close that. And yes, I'm glad it's working now. I'm very glad it's working now. One day, I will not have any technical problems in this room. That would be the absolute magical world to be in. We're not there yet. But right, so we can do, can we do instance? What if we find instances? What will find instances do? Magic. Know what it does? It does magic. Right, so we've officially got pieces. We've got different pieces. So I'm officially very happy now. Connectivity node to separate. That's a good idea too. I've not used connectivity before actually, which is a tragedy. But yeah. Okay. So now, what if we change this to randomize at random? Because I don't want this to be color actually. I don't want it to be color. So let's do, can we do random scale of value? What does that give? Value at random float at, can we do name? Can we do name? At name? No, now we can't do name. Okay, but wait. So we know we've got unique numbers right now. What if we now use the random at? Attribute randomize, that one. Now we don't want color. Can we do scale? There is a scale something. Max value. Value. Add value, set value, global scale. Let's see. Or we can base it upon color. Okay, I've got an idea. Don't know if it's gonna work, so let's quickly undo what we've had here and get back to that. Right, so we've got the scale, or we've got the random color value. So let's get, that is still going to be an attribute expression, I think. Probably. Right, so we want random. No. Do we want random? Because we can do position. Don't want position. P scale. We want P scale. Alright. Can we visualize P scale? Apparently no. How inconvenient. Let's see. There is a way to visualize P scale. I've done it before. But I cannot remember how. Right. And then now what P scale does is gives us all these random values. Right. And then how do we use that though? Is it also with a scale or transform? No. You use it in code. Guys, I cannot code. It's going to be interesting. Right, so that is going to be an attribute something. Attribute wrangle. Let's just do a wrangle. Attribute wrangle. Right. I'm gonna Google it. Let's say code for. We can pop this over here. You guys can watch me suffer and enjoy it. Code for randomizing scale based upon P scale. Houdini. Why not? Use this from a random scale between 0 to 1. Sits vex if at rand t-num. This method allows a minimum maximum value. We want this. This method allows you to find just central magic. Float min. Oh, we're grabbing this. AI has some uses. In this case, because I cannot code, it's going to do the thing. Right. And that did nothing. Did nothing at all. Float min max. P scale. Why is it not doing anything? Let's see. Primitives, numbers, edges, nothing. Guess from group. Run over primitives. Detail. Numbers. 36. No, that does nothing. Annoying. Very, very annoying. Right. Back to our drawing board. Why did you not work? If you already have, then if you already have P scale value, and want to add a random variation to current P scale, let's try that one. Why not? Why not? Let's try it. Alright, let's get rid of that. Now the first one is probably better. No, but that didn't do anything either, but wait. Primitives. Let's try the first one again, but actually get rid of the P scale. So let's avoid that. Let's try the first one again. Now this is my own fault. This is my own fault, because firstly I've refused to learn code, right? So that's point number one. Point number one is I've refused to learn coding. Point number two is, if you don't want to learn something, you're going to struggle. Because I'm now cheating the system, so to speak, and it's coming back to bite me. Because this is doing legitimately nothing. Load min at. Should have specified Houdini because what is going on? Ensure that I don't know all lowercase. What are we doing with the wrangle again? It's to utilize the P scale to scale the individual primitives, the individual tiles. So that's the goal. That is the goal. It, however, is not working because I don't know coding, so I don't know what it's not doing. To orient and transform, to scale specifically. So to make things bigger and smaller, ideally. Because we've now got, what if we, no. We could do it with color to assign unique somethings to them. And then, I don't know. I'm at a loss. But hey, at least we've got the orientation working. Now we do want some level of random orientation, but at this stage, let's try something else. While I think about what to do about that. Can we instance? Hello, what are you doing? What that into there? Got nothing. Absolutely nothing. Right, so that's not gonna work. Can you try using a primitive wrangle? There's a primitive wrangle? I'm learning things, guys. I'm learning things. Primitive wrangle. Alright. No, I don't want it to go through. Can go through that. Why not? And then let's try the other code again. Why not? Why not? So that is going to be this one, I think. I also don't like the music at the moment. We're gonna fix that in a second. But yeah. No, but wait. This is for Houdini attribute wrangle. Let's do. See if it pops something different out. Says P scale to a random value between 0 and the current P scale. Can we try that? Music is driving me insane. Let's skip that one. Before primitive wrangle, pack and disassemble and try float. Okay. Let's do pack and disassemble. Can we do that with a normal pack? Can we pack and assemble with a normal pack? But okay, wait, let me just grab this code first. Copy. No, no. That did in fact not copy. How dare you? Copy. I'm assuming we want different lines for that. I'm assuming. Alright, so, pack. Which pack do we want? Do we want merge pack? Do we want read pack? Right, so, that's one side of things. Now, which would be... Just plop this down. So I can actually see what's going on here. And then, in terms of other things, can we just assign a color here? Because that way I can feel like I'm actually making progress here. Random. No. We want a random. Scale offset flatten author constant. No, we want that one. And then we can do a color. So I can feel like I'm making progress here. If we pack that, we lose our... Hello, what did you do? Oh, yeah, of course it does that. Right. Right. I've just realized I've spent an hour and a half on these roof tiles. An hour and a half. And I'm just normal pack is fine, doesn't matter for it, it's all online. And brilliant. It would be primitive, right? It would be primitive, and we've not got a group. So that should, in theory, work. But it is not. Hello. So it's not a force. I'm missing something somewhere. I know I am. Because the reason for it is the code is not breaking, but it's not doing anything. In the sense of all the code is not doing anything. Let me just quickly check. Would be primitive. Because we're currently getting nothing. Because from what I can see the pack turns into one object, right? So we now lose our unique values, so to speak. In the sense of this one, we've no longer actually got P scale. Oh, you're right, you got it? Just that? I assume so. Let's do that. Copy that. Okay, but wait, I still need to get the P scale. Because I'm pretty sure I removed the P scale over here. So this needs to be P scale. Got random P scale there, that gets packed into there, and then we've got this. What if I remove the pack? Because we didn't assign a slider to the gate. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. And then the next thing we'll need is probably scale. What if we do add scale? That is nothing. I was cautiously optimistic there. I thought we would change that scale and actually look at the scale. But no. Because the problem right now is we've got nothing that's actually saying to scale the actual geometry according to the scale. I think that is it. But it could also be, what if, now I don't know what the code is for this. We assign the color, right? So each one will have its own color, right? Once we've got the color, we assign P scale or a random scale to each color. Maybe not necessarily P scale, because P scale is point scale, is the scale of the point. And we don't technically want the scale of the point. Wait. Right. It's a point scale, right? So it's assigning a scale to each point. But that doesn't help us because that doesn't actually scale it. So what we need is we need to add P scale to the point on the actual roof, not the points on the what do you call it? On the tiles. So let's flip that around. Now I could be completely wrong, yeah. But let's plop that into there. Magic. Magic. Absolute magic witchcraft. I'm happy. I am very happy. Right. Talking it through helps. The problem was the P scale assigns scale to points, obviously. And if we wanted to add color, we could still add color. We could do this and then plop that into there and just then change this to color. And that'll give us a random color as well. I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy. And I've repeated that a billion times, but I'm still very happy. Thank you. We have liftoff. We've created witchcraft. Who needs alchemy when we've got Houdini? Right, so. Now obviously this is too much. That's too much. So what we could do, just plop that into there. Hello. What do you do? Let's try something. Because I'm gonna quickly remove with this one, the one that actually gives us the P scale. What I want to be doing is I actually want to limit it because we don't want it to scale too much. So let's try that first code again. Let's undo that, go back to here. Because then we can specify how far. So let's do a triangle. And then plop that into there. Because this should, in theory, right, so that gives us that. And then we don't want it smaller to be that smaller than like 0.8. Maybe even 0.9. Right. But actually, wait, I'm going to undo that because I've just deleted your thingamajig and you had a nifty McGafter that gave us a slider. So let's view that one. Is this part? It's this part, isn't it? Let's see if I can wing this monstrosity of a code. So, let's do the attribute wrangle. No. Why is this being so difficult to find? And it's every single time it's difficult. Expression. There we go. Right. It just wants to give me the rig one. It always wants to give me the rig wrangle. It doesn't want to give me the attribute wrangle. Right, brilliant. We've got that. Let's grab the other code again. And that's good. This one, and then we're gonna plop that into there. Right, so can we get this portion to work with the rest? That's a multiplication. Can we get plan? If it doesn't work, don't use the pack, try this. We can take a look at that as well in a second. Let's do, I want to see if it works first. Let me see if this works. Nope, I'll do that. Okay, so that does multiply it. What if we don't multiply? Can we just get a float without the multiplication? I just want to slide it. I just want to slide it. But okay, let's leave it at multiply. Why not? Let's leave it at multiply. It works, technically speaking, so let's do that. Can we go higher? We can go higher. Right, let's remove that. I'm breaking stuff now. Let's not break stuff. I need the thingy, that one. Right, plop that into there. And then we can change this to, again, 0.9 or something. Right. And then plan if it doesn't work. Don't use the fact, try this. Transform at scale. Set primitive. Ooh, that's confusing. Okay, so, because I don't understand coding, so that one will be there. And then we can plop that into the primitive wrangle. Alright. What happens if we then plop this into there? Hello. That's giant. I think I plugged it on into the wrong side actually. Yeah, I did. This is this one that breaks. But it's probably my fault. It's probably my fault. Could be, let's try if we plug that directly to there. Okay, not that one. It could also be because I'm placing it in the same way I would this one, which is actually a thingy. Right. Can I also add a random normal direction? Will that really mess things up? Instead of doing color, can I do, no, hello, can I do normal? But I'm gonna limit it. Random. I only want a little bit of random. I don't want a lot of random. I only want a little bit. Can I just get a little bit of random? That would be ideal. There's a way of doing it in what do you call it? Simple. At Vob. So actually Vob, plop that into there. And then we are going to, I'm going to change this back to color. This color is fun. Don't have another reason. It's your color. Alright, plop there. Actually, I want to view it at that, no, that point. Why is this no longer getting limited though? Because the wrangle comes afterwards. Let's plop that into there, that into there, and then that into there. Brilliant. Right. That should be well. We want normal. Can we add random just by random? Can we do in that one? 3D vector input, 3D vector output. Into, what if we color into normal? What will that do? Random normal output. Alright, but that's not random, is it? Clamp position to integer. Right, so that is affecting the normal. Can we do what would you call that? Can we do a clamp? Is the clamp a thing? Clamp is a thing. Minimum, maximum. So the minimum is 0. The maximum is going to be like 0.1. No. 0.1 and 0.1. Alright, now let's play with these to see which direction. Okay, so that's fine. We can have randomness on this one. So that is going to be 0.1. This one can also be utilized. So let's do 0.1 on that one as well. And then is this one that's going insane. That's this one. What if we 0 that one? But see, that's still too much. That's still too much. Alright. The minimum is going to be 1 there. The minimum is going to be what here? Also 1. So the minimum is going to be 1. The maximum is going to be what? 0 that one out. Maybe we could do that. What does that do? Let's put that at 2. And then this one we're going to play a little bit with. No, that's fine. So now if we go in here and adjust the minimum value, the maximum value. Now but see, I don't want to do that. I want to play with this much. We want to just magically clamp to the parameters. Okay, so the main problem, right, let me jump out and actually show the main problem. Is the normal direction is already correct. We just wanted to slightly randomize it. And what this is doing, it's randomizing it by a lot, right? So, what if we plot normal to there? Alright. Right. Let's test something else quickly. It's not actually what this is meant for, but let's do that. We will still do the clamp. And then that's 3D normal, 3D vector, 3D point. No, that's not going to give us what we want, is it? Hello, where have you went? Okay, that will do that because the values haven't restricted it. Right. So random works, it's just too extreme. If we plop that into there, and we base it upon color, but output normal, right? So it does technically work. The problem is just it's too much. Can we... I want to clamp all of the values at the same time, firstly. But secondly, I want it not to change the orientation of the original ones. Right. Let's start off. I'm just going to put everything at 1. Right? Just to see what the baseline is. Now, with that baseline, we can do nothing in terms of a maximum. So that means that's not going to work. Right? What if we change that to 0.9, 0.9, 0.9. Right. But I also want to randomize the position. So what if we do the same for the position? Do that goes into there, and we want uniform point. Uniform point or just point? 3D point input, but I don't want the 3D color output. I want do I want a vector output? What if we change this to a vector? No, let's focus for half a second. Let's focus for half a second. I'm gonna plot that into there. Okay, but this is giving us a random value, but we've not nothing specifying min or max. We could alternatively let's do that. Hello. Let's do minimum is 0. Alright. Maximum is 0.1. 0.1. 0.1. That gives us this at the center of the world. Because, right, because we technically only want a certain direction, right? So we technically only want this direction and up. Ha! But no, but that'll give us that. But what if we... Can we get 1? No. That'll give us up. It's gonna mess everything up. Okay. Okay, we're not gonna do that. But on the upside, we've at least, ignoring that part, got the random scale working. but I do want the original to be slightly bigger, just so that this doesn't happen. What I could do, now forget that idea before I even started. Let's undo that quickly. Let's just change the scale. Can we do 3? No, that's taller. We don't want taller. We want wider. Right, not that much. Let's do 2.25. Right, because we technically want slightly random orientation and slightly random. So let's quickly plop that into there. Can we do random? Yes, but then we do, because there is already a random position. It just does that, which is too much. What does a scale do? There's random scale, which is point scale. We already have point scale, so that doesn't help us. Do we have orientation? Force velocity map. We take a have the normal already here. We just have to clamp it. So let's actually quickly view the attribute wrangle. We do have these already. Can we grab those, plop them into the attribute expression? No. That's wishful thinking. Whatever. Let's do custom. It is going to be N. It's going to be float. Can I at 11 at random at, I don't know. Guys, I've lost it. I've lost the plot. Right, I think what I'm gonna do, no, because I do actually want the point scale. Wait, go back. I think what I'm probably going to do is I'm gonna think a bit how I want to do the orientation. Once I've decided that, I'll pop into a live stream next week and hopefully go into more detail about how we can actually do it. Because I'm going into circles here, and I've learned my lessons with Houdini. Once you're going into circles, you need a break, and you need to think about what you want to do and figure out how. So once I've figured it out, I'll update you guys and show you how we get from point A to point Z. So I think we're going to do that. However, having said that, we can play a little bit with the transform just to get it a tiny bit prettier. Where did I actually do the orient? Did I do it along the orient along curve? No. Oh, I changed the scaling and that fixed the orientation. Right. That is what we did. So transform. Let's quickly adjust the rotation a little bit. I wonder if we do a group by range. Now this isn't random. It's not gonna be random. But what if we plop that into? No, but that's gonna give us. Okay, right. So the problem with what I just tried to do was I was going to use the group by range to move things, but that'll just move the plane. It won't. Is that a problem though? It moves the plane instead of the. I don't know, that's a problem. Let's see what we get. Let's play with it. Why not? I'm this far into this utter chaos of a mess, so might as well. I mean, that technically gives us somewhat random result. Can we invert range? No. Start. That is somewhat random. Okay, we're going to grab that group, and then we are going to transform that group. And we are going to use translate. Did I specify group here? I did not. That's going to be group 1. Right. That is awful. Because the problem is, if we do that, oh, okay, let's see what we do. And then if we lift it up a little bit, that's worse. Right, okay, so that's not an option. That offsets it. What if we offset it rather than trying to totally manipulate everything? And then if we lift it a little bit up, just like a tiny bit. Where did I do the transform? Let's do that. Okay, now the color is actually driving me insane. So let's just remove the color so I can see what I'm actually working with. Let's remove that color as well. Right. So, plan B. We are going to still use the group arrange, but we're actually going to grab the find instance node. That's going to find our different instances for us, and then we are going to plot that into there. Alright, group arrange. We want this. Now this is currently assigning colors. We do not want to assign colors, but anyway, let's run with it. We just quickly check what this is doing. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. And then we can do the transform now. Hopefully. Referring to group 1. And that's probably going to be a primitive. And let's see what that is. Okay, so that gives us a uniform scale. No, we don't want that. We actually want... Okay, but that'll do that though. I'm gonna flip it. Because we do want some randomness. I'm hyperfixating on this again. Because I hate when things don't work. Right, but I still have this color value that's coming through. Why though? Because that is technically grey. It should be grey. The second I go to I've got a color value up here. Right, let's avoid that. Right, so transform. What are we doing? According to this, we're doing nothing. Let's quickly view what this is selecting. That selects that. That is a group for group 1. Let's put that at 1. And it is technically selecting stuff. So let's do a transform. Okay, so that does that. What direction is that directing in? Alright. Okay. Let's visualize this so we can actually see what's going on. Let's rotate this way and see what we get. So that will give us that, which we don't... I mean, we can do a little bit of that. And then we've got this rotation, which gives us very similar, actually. Let's see. It's just going to create a divide for me, basically, which is not quite. Okay, so that's rotation. That's what rotation will give me. What will translation give me? Let's see. We're going to want a really minute small value. Alright, probably not much in that direction. Hello, that collapsed. This is all awful. Okay, we're gonna park it. We will revisit this on Tuesday. We'll revisit this on Tuesday and we'll hopefully have this more refined. But until that time, we've got this. It is technically somewhat functional. It's not to the level I would have liked it to be. but we're going to work with it. I'm also going to plop that into there instead, just so that it's closer to things. Right, and then I'm also going to quickly do a transform, probably. After the blast and the dissolve, just do a slight minute transform just to get it all lined up. Let's do that, plop that into there, and then we can translate it, I think on the X direction. Yeah, a little bit. Like a minuscule teeny amount. Like that. Alright. We probably want this to go slightly down as well. Not that much. Right. Let's do maybe that much. And then we can slightly go to the side again. Now this isn't perfect. This is just to get an idea of what we're working towards. And we are going to need the side roof pieces, which I hope we would not. But we will need them, so we'll need those to block to them. And then we could, in theory, do a mirror and be not done, but have something there. So let's do the mirror. Brilliant. Right. So that's going to get merged into there, and then we've got that, which is actually not awful. Is it as detailed as I would like it? No, it is not, but it could be worse. Honestly, it really could be. Let's get my colors back on. I want a color for the towel. Can I get a color for the towel? Let's do, it's going to be the same color as the planks. So that is going to come from, which one is this? Yeah, that one. We're doing that one. Now this network is now officially a very cluttered mess, but I'll clean it up. Do not worry. Technically, I need to plop it actually into this one. No, over there. Maybe we could do it at the end. And we need to avoid anything that has to do with color. So that's P scale, that's fine. That is fine. That is fine. Alright, brilliant. Got that. Merge that together. And then we have this. Is this perfect? No, it's not. But we've actually got roof tiles, which is more than I thought we would have. So there's that. Right, but without further ado, that'll be it for today. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you for staying around while I battle through this project. We'll hopefully have a less chaotic stream on Tuesday next week. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.